What's up, guys? Oh man, yesterday was a intense day. Needless to say, I was pretty fucking wrong about how the market was going to go yesterday. That was intense, but all good. Uh, Gonna quickly talk about what happened yesterday. Um, my thoughts on it. Um, how what because it didn't go as expected. How I kind of played the market still. Um, I did some things something which I thought was good and something which was also bad. And kind of now how today so far the market's been going and now what I'm kind of expecting for today and how I'm currently positioned. I actually have positions left open overnight, um, and now yeah, they're still open, and yeah, it's getting closer to a point where I'm actually looking to close now. But anyway, so let's take a quick look. So obviously yesterday was the big story was I think the week opened at around 1768, but holy shit, we haven't had an update like this in quite some time. I mean, the last one was really back here when we kind of finally broke out that 1750 level. Um, yeah, one we had the double bottom, but yeah, it's been a few days since we had that much buy side pressure, you know, and it kind of took me by surprise, honestly, just because. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like one of that momentum where it was just kind of creeping. If we take a look at the 15-minute chart, sorry, just a second. If we start looking at where the market really opened on that day, it was kind of it opened around here, right? Um, yeah, we just initially kind of got this small but steady momentum, but nothing serious. And at when we hit around here, or when it started hitting around the 1775, I actually started shorting the market just because I was expecting some sort of sideways action. So I shorted here at this resistance level of 1775, shorted again around this resistance level about 1781. And, then we were starting to go back down. We got the bearish candle here, another bearish candle here, the engulfing. So I was pretty confident. I was, at one point when it was down here, coming back to that 1775 level, I really thought, oh, okay, um, this is going exactly how I thought. Like we were going to start doing a lot more sideways action, but then this momentum really started picking up, and I noticed the volume, right? The volume here in particular was increasing. And when we got back here, yes, we got this kind of short, but like dead cat drop, right? And I really started noticing that we were building this. Here, let me show you quickly. We were kind of building this ascending triangle pattern here, right? With the resistance line here, and with this increase in volume, I really started to think like, oh my God, like I think like we're going to actually go quite high. And this is the first place where I kind of made a mistake trading the market yesterday. When I saw this ascending triangle happen, I should have really taken my small profits small profits from the sell from my shorting around here, and I should have switched to a buy. I saw the technical pattern happening. I mean, the technical pattern here was quite clear, I think, at least in my opinion, with the increase in buy volume. And yeah, this wasn't coming from anywhere, but it was just, gold bulls coming out. Um, and yeah, so, and I think in general, yesterday was one of those days where everything seemed to be up, whether it was crypto, copper, blah, 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 blah. Like everything was going up and, the bulls were out. So I really should have switched and just placed my buy and then just rode that wave. But I just, I got too stuck to my pre-market analysis before I started trading, and that was a big mistake. As if I was a better trader, I would have definitely played that differently. Anyway, lessons learned, right? And sure enough, we got that massive spike up, and at one point, that momentum just looked so strong. We blew past through that weekly, that downward sloping resistance candle on the weekly, and that really took me by surprise as well. Like previously we had just gotten stopped by it, so often. Like it proved to be such strong resistance, but we barely got a bounce, barely, and it just blew right through that. So that really surprised me. And at one point, I think some of the bulls were really expecting that 1800, right? But I knew in my head, this is one of the more positive things I did yesterday when trading, right? I had a position triggered, a short position also triggered that I'd set on this resistance line. And we blew right through that. So, but one thing that I was proud of is that I kept calm during that time. I didn't panic, and I just knew that, okay, I just wanted to wait for that bearish candle, something which was signaling a reversal. And I knew that 1800, okay, I thought, okay, first maybe 1790 was going to provide it, got a small bounce, but blew right through that. Okay, so I knew that 1800 was going to be extremely strong around that 1797 range, right, where we previously had strong resistance. And I saw the bearish candle that we had, this kind of hammer candle with the engulfing, and I placed another short here confidently with slightly higher margin. And sure enough, the market started cooling down. We started getting this sideways price action, and volume really started decreasing as well. Obviously, at this time, it's important to note that the data, unlike everybody on investing.com and all these so-called analysts were predicting, the data actually came out negative for the dollar. It was one of the first pieces of data since a while that actually went against the dollar and against the recovering U.S. economy. So obviously this continued that spike through this resistance even more. That really helped push it to that next level. But I kept calm and I shorted here, and sure enough, we started getting this slow but steady kind of we had this loss of momentum, and now we're kind of seeing that downturn, right? And now I'm getting to a point where we're getting very close, where I'm, now back almost. I think I'm almost break even. If not, I'm in the blue right now, or making money. So I'm stoked about that, and I'm really happy that how I kept calm, kept my emotions in check, and made a good decision to short the market here as well, knowing how strong that resistance was. And that worked out really, really nicely. So yeah, had both some good and bad decisions yesterday in terms of the trading, but now everything's looking okay. So that kind of leads me to, what am I expecting really for today? Obviously, today is not a day where we have big economic data coming out, so that's a good thing. And I think just like, in gold in particular, or at least recently, we don't really see these crazy parabolic run-ups like this, on the short-term chart, without seeing some sort of pullback, like some reasonable logic pullback. Like, this is not, gold right now is not experiencing that crazy parabolic run that some other markets are, like copper or crypto or whatever, right? So I kind of knew that we were going to see this decline. It's just natural declining, right? Smart traders were definitely going to short at this level again, where resistance proved to be so strong before, and sure enough, that's what we're really seeing. I drew this box here just to really showcase the key level that I think we're looking at in terms of like this battle between the bulls and the bears. If we look at the day chart, right, this resistance is what proved to really be kind of very, very strong since the last week, right, before we just blew through it yesterday. So it wouldn't surprise me if we continue to really kind of test this and see if we can manage to hold this on the day chart, and then consequently in the lower time frames. I think this is going to be the real key level for today. If we break through that, I see no reason why we don't go back down to 1775 or even back kind of lower. If we do go back quite a bit lower, though I don't see that happening, like even past 1775, I really also want to see, from a price narrative standpoint, are we going to get a bounce on that 21-day EMA, which is this light blue one here that I've have on the chart. This typically, especially in a market like gold, really tends to signal like if we're really in a bull market or not, if we're really getting those bounces, that 21 and 50 day, but particularly 21. I really want to see if we manage to maintain that bullish momentum, right? Like basically this, from a technical standpoint yesterday, when we got that bounce on that 21, we shot up. So I want to see, are we going to get the same thing today. And if that doesn't happen today, you know, if we don't get to that low of a level, okay, I mean tomorrow, or this is something that I want to pay attention to later in the week, okay? Another thing that's very important to keep in mind, guys, when we're looking at the yields, okay, yields obviously dumped heavily yesterday as well as a result of the negative economic data for the dollar. But we now, once we got that reversal around the same time, we saw that recovering yield trend, right? I think from a longer term standpoint, right, with given everything that's happening, like with all the money printing and that, etc., long term, we should be seeing yields still build back towards that, you know, that 2 level, right, the 2.0 level. So, which is what we were seeing prior to you know, the whole crash that happened last year at the beginning of COVID, right? So, what happened here? We got that reversal, and now we're slowly building. We initially built this kind of triangle formation, or sorry, this wedge formation, which we really strongly broke out of, and now I think we may continue to see this slow rise back up. Okay, especially in preparation for like tomorrow, where tomorrow there's going to be a lot more big data being released, the non-manufacturing data and all that kind of stuff. So tomorrow is going to be a big day, but for today, I do expect to see a bit more of a correction. And going back to gold, yeah, I'm just going to stay patient here. It looks like we're actually initially at one point, you know, I think some people who were shorting up here really took their profits here and we got that bounce back up, but that general downtrend really held strong. And I do see potentially us just breaking through this this level that we've been looking at here, or that I've been looking at. And hopefully we're going to get to see that 1775 level again. If we see this level, yeah, this is probably where I'm going to take some profits, close my trades, close my short positions. I'll do really nice. If we get to that level, I'll probably make about 2% on my account, which I'm really stoked about. And then from there, seeing what kind of bounce we get there, I'm probably going to charter my next move. Overall, I still think, you know, despite the fact that we got quite an unusual move yesterday, at least for today and like the early parts of tomorrow, we're still probably going to go sideways in this area, right, until the data comes out. Sometimes there's that before the data comes out, you see the market already moving a certain direction, which may suggest that, you know, that people are expecting something. So keep in mind for that. But at least for the rest of today and, you know, the early parts of tomorrow, at least my time before the U.S. opens, I do expect us to kind of see this sideways action. So again, sell around the 81 and up levels, buy if it gets back down to the 1750, 60 levels. That's really what I'm kind of looking for, guys. All right, anyways, cool. If you guys have any questions or comments, definitely let me know. Really interested to talk with more people. And I do plan to do an ETH video, hopefully later today, which I'll just release as well, just about ETH, because obviously ETH's reached now these ridiculous all-time highs, which is great because I'm an ETH bull, but, you know, I'm trying to be as conservative and as realistic as possible. So watch out for that. Thanks, guys.